Good day and welcome back to the Herbert Dennard Show. We have with us Shane McBride of WMAC Talk Radio.
That's right.
You're from where?
Well, grew up in New Orleans, 9th Ward, and left there in '81 to move to Mobile, Alabama, and spent most of my adult life and my professional career in Alabama, Mobile, on the coast. Home of Mardi Gras, by the way.
And how did you end up in Macon?
I actually kind of gotten out of radio down in Mobile to pursue politics, and that didn't work out. So we got back in the business of radio, and after about 1 year and 300 air checks and resumes, one managed to land across the desk of somebody that had known me from Mobile and called me and offered me the job here in Macon. June will be a year.
Okay, and where did Ron Frazier come from, your sidekick?
I worked with him in Mobile briefly. He had been there for a couple of years in Mobile. He's traveled all over the country. He's an older guy than I am. He's been in the business, I think, 50 years this summer. So he's been kicking around for a long time himself.
How do you like, you come on what time in the morning?
6 a.m.
At 9:40. And you have a pretty good audience.
Well, I hope so. I mean, there was a good audience there that we inherited from the previous hosts, Jamie G. and Kenny B. And I think that, of course, Kenny had been there for 20 years prior to my getting there, and I think that he was the program director, so I think that he did a pretty good job of building a solid station. We've inherited that, and I hope we nurse it well and hang on to it.
I listen to Ron Frazier sometime, and I have to ask you this. Is he joking or is he real by saying that global warming does not exist?
I think he seriously doesn't believe that. I would guess he thinks that the idea that it's man-made is probably made up. Yes.
Right.
Or that man is contributing to the output of CO2s into the atmosphere.
Right. I've noticed a lot of the radio, talk show radios, especially conservative radio, they say almost the same thing.
Yeah, there seems to be a consensus among the conservative talk show set that it's some sort of a scam. The global warming. Yeah.
When I see somebody say the same thing in all different places, I just wonder, is it coincident or how does it happen?
Well, I think how it happened is Rush Limbaugh was a phenomenally talented broadcaster who happened to be conservative, and the conservative thing has worked for him. And then you have, as you typically do, you have a lot of copycats. If somebody comes out with a hit song, 15 different artists try to recreate what that artist did. You had the Beatles, and you had Dave Clark 5, and a lot of these others. And so I think a lot of folks got the idea that doing conservative talk radio was the thing. But I think that's misguided, because I think talented people make good talk radio. But I think because of the success of Limbaugh and his format, a lot of people have imitated that, and you have that proliferation of conservative talk radio.
Why isn't there a liberal or progressive talk show?
I think because you can't put a talk show on with the idea that it's going to be this or that. If you put somebody, most of these guys, a lot of the conservative guys, if you look at Michael Savage, let me tell you what else has changed while we're on this point, though. When I got into this business 20 years ago, and my first talk show was in 1990. I wasn't old enough to buy beer, and I was trying to give an opinion on a radio talk show. Nobody really took talk show hosts that seriously. We'd always say, take it with a grain of salt. You know, we can't really, but that's changed somehow. I think when 41 members of the United States Senate signed a resolution about Rush Limbaugh, it sort of accentuated how serious we take these people nowadays. And I don't know so that's definitely changed. But I still think that a lot of these talk show hosts, like myself, are just regular people. We possess no special knowledge of a lot of different issues. We don't go to meetings or get involved in policy debate. We're just talk show hosts, opinion makers, and mostly it's to a large degree to sensationalize or to dramatize or to compel, provoke, and get people to listen. To your question, why isn't a liberal or progressive talk show successful? My professional take on that is because you wouldn't want to go on the air pushing an agenda. You want to go on the air to be entertaining, compelling, and provocative. And I think someone who could do that, if they happen to be of a liberal or progressive mindset, would be successful.